Good morning again, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. I want to talk about Mars a little bit. It's been in the media a lot lately, a lot of news, some robots going up there, exploring around, taking pictures, and some theories about the origin of the planet, the history of it, and I want to chime in with my thoughts on Mars and how it relates to Earth in a nutshell in just a few minutes, hopefully. Um, there's a theory. I'm going to jump right into the idea that life on Earth originated from elsewhere. This is a pretty well established theory, unproven at this time that I know of, called panspermia. The name is panspermia. So it's thought that early organisms on Earth, that is, those fossils that we found from 4 billion years ago, give or take, have features to them that indicate they did not necessarily originate here. And quite a bit of evidence at this point to support this theory. And one possible explanation that people are posing is that it came from Mars. Some of the stuff perhaps dislodged by asteroids or other celestial phenomena that caused it to be sent to Earth, so to speak, and to form here as into life as we know it. That's one interesting thought. Another possibility, and I like to be skeptical with my analysis of pretty much anything, especially 4 billion-year-old fossils. I like to be very skeptical with that because my feeling is that Occam's razor is highly useful here. That the simplest explanation is that someone somehow is misreading the data. I think that that just like on the data point alone, that they're saying early organisms, the very earliest cellular organisms that we've observed originated with immune systems, they're saying, which indicates that they probably didn't show up here, or they didn't originate here, is what I mean to say. If they had immune systems, that means they were fighting something previously, they had adapted to that environment, and there's no previous fossils on Earth. So they're saying, well, it must have come from somewhere else. Or my point is that maybe there's an error in the dating that we're using. There's an error in something, because that's the most likely explanation. In all honesty, if we're talking 4 billion years, it's entirely likely that there's a lot of leeway in the exact date that we're getting from this thing. So I want to talk about Mars. Like I said, Mars is thought to have had water, liquid water at one point. There's a lot of evidence of this. There's dry ocean beds. There is actually still ice that we've discovered conclusively, I believe, at this point at the poles, or one of the poles anyway. And it's also being talked about as a possible colonization destination for mankind. Kind of a not keeping your eggs all in one basket is the overarching motive, I think, that I've heard for recolonizing or terraforming Mars, if you know what that is. And I want to just mention something that I do believe that life has been on Mars before. I believe that the common perception of geologic records and cosmic history in our solar system is very incomplete. Most people have no idea where we came from, how long we've been here, and maybe nobody knows entirely, but I think that there's more to be known than is being said. There are actually early records of mankind's origin that have been, I think, deliberately hidden, obfuscated, kept from the public. I've heard things about ancient scrolls and texts describing a planet that had oceans that eventually dried up, and the timeline, if you can interpret these documents that I've seen or heard about, it coincides with the time mankind started to make a big appearance on Earth, right before the construction of the pyramids in the Fertile Crescent, and so on and so forth. And I don't want to pose some complete theory. I could speculate all day. I don't have any conclusive evidence, but I do believe that many creatures on Earth did not originate on Earth. There seems to be evidence of this. There seems to be evidence that animals of all kinds, such as giraffes, which have no equal on this planet, cats, for example. I mean, common house cats. Yes, we see relatives of cats, the big cats, but they're kind of distant relatives. And I feel like that even mankind, and especially Homo sapiens, lacking a definitive fossil or anthropological record on this planet dating from before, like 5 to 10,000 years BC. where were we? Where'd we come? Okay, shouldn't there be a lot more stuff hanging around if we originated here? I don't know. I really don't know. But my point, just over 5 minutes, my point is that if we came from Mars, I'm saying if mankind, or some of mankind, the people who ended up in Europe probably, came from Mars, they might not need to go back there if it's a dead planet. If the same situation persists on Mars that caused it to be abandoned to begin with, it would be a wrong direction, as we say. I don't see a lot of potential there. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be objective about what I do know about Mars, and that is, it is just bigger, slightly bigger than our moon. It lacks gravity. It lacks substantial atmosphere. It does have some atmosphere. It's mostly carbon dioxide. It's very cold, extremely cold, much colder than Earth. And in a social sense, I do believe we have enough problems on Earth to keep us busy before we concentrate in earnest on evacuating the planet. That is to say, running away from our problems, because that's what it looks like. That is what it looks like to me. When I hear talk about colonizing Mars and outer space, I hear that the don't put your eggs in one basket argument. I do hear that, but I also hear a lot of people failing to fix the economic system that we have here that's causing so many problems. I hear a lot of people just being delusional about the low-hanging fruit and the less savory projects that are right at hand, the ones that are right in front of you. The people who are going hungry on Earth right now, the people who are being thrown under buses daily by a corrupt administration, the people who are victims of every kind. And I hear just a handful of people with the wherewithal to jump ship talking about, oh, hey, let's just get on out of here then. Do you think maybe you benefited in some way from these victims who you're abandoning? Do you think you're going to want to be able to sleep at night? You want to look at yourself in the mirror eventually? How do you feel about that? Because I wouldn't feel right. I honestly wouldn't feel right about abandoning this place, knowing that it gave so much to me. But that's just me. So I'm no fan of colonizing Mars, I'll be honest. Dead ass, no cap. I don't want to go to Mars. I like Earth. I like the fresh air and sunshine. I like the green grass and trees of Earth. I like the people of Earth mostly. And I also don't want to run away from problems that I helped create. So there you have it. Unless I hear something different, my plan is to stay right here. Have a great day. Reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.